Okay, baby, I'll give you nanners. I'll give you nanners. Ears. Wow. 1 minute. Let me share my. Oh, about that. I'll start my. Here, want a little chia seed? You like chia seed, Chandler? I'm gonna share my information. Let's see what we have here. Hi, Joshua. It's been a long time. Aren't you one of my very first moderators here? Hi, Dennis. How's it going? Sorry about how late it is, guys. Oh my gosh, I really need to revise my schedule. I got caught up. I was doing a lot of chores and just made myself some dinner. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel like eating it right away, so I was just sitting there. I had to heat it up again. Let me share my information here and we can get started. I've got a banana for Shando. Shando loves the bananas. You know it, Shando, but 1 minute. Before I give it to you, I want to share my information. How are you guys doing? Hi, 10:20? Yeah, it's not that late. You must live in a region close by. It's around 10 o'clock where you're at, you know? Pacific Northwest. Okay, let me see. I'll share my information. If anyone wants to commission me for a painting, I am well more than ready for it to get started on it. If not, that's okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I'll try to make this quick. You guys want to check out my art? It's on my Instagram, a lot of it. Oh, you know what? I need to take a photo of that Christ painting and put it on my Instagram. Can't forget to do that. Trina.art. My Discord. Hey, baby. MRO underscore wing underscore 13473. Did you guys see that? The last short I posted? I bought Shando a new toy and he just loved it. He was so happy. Okay, let me just pin this. Alright. Got it. I've missed you too, Josh. I've missed a lot of you guys. I mean, it is my fault because I've been doing it later than usual, and that's kind of what you'd come to expect, you know. People are around at a certain time, and if I start live streaming at a time that's not my usual time, I might not see some of the same people because they won't be available. But it is what it is. I really need to try to fix it. Okay, now for Shando to have his nanners snacks. What is that? Okay, got some on there. Make sure there's nothing harmful on that. There we go. Okay. Messy. Okay, baby. Let's take a look at my baby boy. Hi, nanners. There you go, baby. Nanners. Is that good? That good? Yum. What a cutie. Let's use that. Shando, indeed, he got a new toy. Where'd your little alligator go, sweetheart? Where'd your alligator go? Where'd the alligators? Oh, it's right there. Right there on the ground, Shando. What? Look, Shando. Your alligators. Babers. Looks. Shando, you goofball. It's right over here. I'm pointing at it. Shando? Honey, look. Alligators. Alligators right there. You gotta look. He's thinking of probably food, actually. There you go. It's right here, you goofball. It's right here, you goofball. I know, it's a new toy. Yeah. Yeah. Is that good? I like that color too. Especially the dark area. It's like my favorite, one of my favorite colors. Ah, don't drop it on my foot now. Yeah, you get that toy, buddy. You get that. Yeah, that's garbage. Get it? Oh, don't eat the phone. Yeah, you, wow. Teddy bear, just a little teddy bears. Oh my goodness, that's a lot brighter. Not good, honey. Wow. Yeah, you like your new toy? You're welcome. Okay. Yeah, he's got, I don't know if you just saw that. It's kind of nasty. But he's got a bad kind of fungal rash around his bum. So I've scheduled a vet appointment for him. This antifungal spray I have seems to be helping. In fact, you know what? He wants out, but before he goes out, I'm going to actually spray that on him. It is difficult trying to take care of this because he does not like it. He does not like it when I do this. Honey, let's give you a few spritzes. Make you feel like that. Oh, okay. I know, honey. I know you don't like it. I don't like doing it to you either because you don't like it. But gotta be consistent, baby. I know. It's too bad a dog that hates baths and everything so much and medications and me dressing him so much, and yet it's not one problem that requires that, it's another. But man, it looked worse yesterday. That spray is helping a little bit. I will take your dog, hug him, squeeze him, and call him George. Aw. You know, some dogs just have skin issues like that, you know? It's pain in the butt, literally, for him. But my dad, when he married my mom, he had a Dalmatian named Coach. And the Dalmatian had the same exact type of issues, you know? Same thing. I think it's like, well, when I took Shando to the vet last time, they confirmed that he had yeast, Kochi, I think it's called that, and rods. Fine, buddy, I'll let you out. But I'm closing the door, okay? Alright. Hold on. Thing is, I had to get his insurance set up and everything because I can't afford to go there and spend $500 every 2 weeks on medication that I could probably find somewhere for a lot cheaper. Of course, they don't tell me, you know, they don't get to the bottom of the situation. They don't tell me what the root cause is. They never mention food allergies. No suggestions. Didn't give me any recommendations. Just come back and buy more. You know, they could have told me it was, you know, like that yeast issues typically stem from poor gut bacteria. But he, of course, they want me to keep coming back and spending more money. So I got him vet insurance. Got that all set up. And yeah, we have a scheduled appointment pretty soon. Hello, still watching? Thanks for sharing your vids and experiences. Much love from Texas. Hi. Yo, I wouldn't mind going to Texas and seeing what it's like to live there. It seems like a pretty nice place. How come so many YouTubers live in Texas, I've noticed? Oompaville lives in Texas. Blair White lives in Texas. There was another one. Asmongold lives in Texas. Here, back. I gotta heat that up. my schedule. Anywho, I'm back. Thank you for sticking around. Whoever did stick around there. I don't blame you if you didn't. My bad. I'm gonna look this up though, because I'm curious. Why do so many YouTubers, I'm putting it in the search engine. That's the first thing that comes up. Is it because they hear me and they're spying on me? Because that's the first thing that comes up. I'm not the only one wondering. Why do so many YouTubers live in Texas? I wonder if it's because there are a lot of events for YouTubers, you know, that it'll help them along with their channel if they attend these conventions. I'm wondering if there's like a YouTube convention there or something like that. No state income tax. Oh. No state income tax, cheaper and larger real estate, and an established community of peers are the primary reasons so many YouTubers and live streamers choose to live in Texas, especially around Austin where Asmerville was. So, financial benefits, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to live there. No state income tax. Texas does not levy a state personal income tax. For high-earning digital creators making hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, I wish. This translates to massive yearly savings compared to states like California or New York. Lower cost of living. Rent and home prices are significantly low. Creators can buy massive houses or multi-room properties with dedicated studio spaces for a fraction of what a tiny apartment costs in Los Angeles. Then there's the infrastructure and lifestyle, networking and collaboration. Austin has turned into a massive hub for digital creators, gamers, and tech personalities. Because early pioneers moved there, a snowball effect occurred, making it easy to collaborate, hire local video editors, and build friend groups. Robust tech infrastructure. Areas favored by creators feature reliable high-speed fiber internet availability, which is critical for uploading heavy video files or live streaming 4K. Yo, it's no wonder they're able to come out, you know, like, it just looks easy for them, but there's always an issue I run into, like it's too slow or glitchy, or, you know, there's always some little blockade that prevents me from really, you know, commencing. Go onwards and upwards. I was considering living there before. Now I'm really considering living there. Except I'll probably make some people upset if I mention it. I'm not sure. Certain folks want me to stick around, and you know what? I'm 35. In like 5 to 10 years, I might not get to have my own kids. I've got 7 siblings now. So, you know, it shouldn't be an issue for me to decide to move on, you know. I don't know. I feel bad about it. How old is who? Oh, how old is my dog? My dog is 3.5 years old. I'm 35.5. Oh, thank you, Amin. Yeah, I'm still young, 35. It's weird, you know. It's, you know, people say age is just a number and all, but if you think about just think of the concept of a 35-year-old man. You're thinking he's young. People don't tend to have the same perception when it's a 35-year-old woman. You know, people don't tend to think 35-year-old woman, oh, she's young. People tend to think, oh, she's getting old and her clock is running out. Which, you know, the latter is, there's some truth to that. If you're planning on doing that in your future. But 35 is 35, man or woman, doesn't matter, you know, and it's not old. Anyone who thinks that 35 is old is ridiculous. Probably young, way young, too. Because when I was like 15, I would have seen 35 as old, you know. When I was a teenager, I saw 30 is old, you know? I used to know a silver lab with skin condition. I think it was sweet potatoes and or pumpkin helped it. Yeah, I get him canned pumpkin, and he really loves it. Sweet potatoes and canned pumpkin. He has chicken right now. I'm gonna close the door so we can have some privacy. Just, don't like not having any privacy. Yeah, hot there. In Texas, you mean? Rio de Janeiro. Oh, man. Dale, this is Texas. How does the rest of it go? Gosh, I need to watch King of the Hill again, damn it. I'm gonna kick your ass. 103, yeah, it's like 80 degrees over here, but it's humid. It's super humid. Let's all move to Texas. I agree. Anyone else wish that fruit snacks were an entire meal? Like, imagine if you could eat a steak-sized fruit snack for dinner and it's healthy. That's the world I want to live in. Well, if you haven't had sugar, if you don't eat sugar a lot, then that, just the very idea kind of turns you off, you know? I like savory food a lot, but I'm just enjoying my cream of wheat because it's super easy, and I like the chocolate chia pudding with the coconut shreds. I think that's a really good combination. You're a handsome woman. Thank you, Fabian. Hey there, looking gorgeous in that outfit. Thank you, Joe Jack. 35 is not old for a woman, and anyone who thinks that is fucking retarded. 35-year-old men can still have babies for 30 years. Sure. I said in that aspect, yeah, there's a clock there. There's time that runs out. But women aren't fucking old because they're 35. Some women can never have babies. Whether we can have babies or not does not determine whether we're old or not. It determines whether or not, okay, so I guess, you know, my uterus is not useful anymore. But some women are born without uteruses. Some women have, what's it called? Fibromyalgia, or no, what's it called again? What is that thing that Michelle McDaniels had? It was, not, God, I have another word stuck in my head. I'm forgetting what it's called. But it's basically, yeah, makes it so you have really, really, really bad periods and stuff. And she can't have babies. She had to have, you know, when some women have that so bad. Endometriosis. Some women have endometriosis so bad that they have to get their uteruses taken out. Does that mean they're old from the time that they get rid of their uterus? Does that mean women are old as soon, like, I'm like 15 years old and everybody now knows that I have endometriosis and I have to go to the doctor to get that taken out? Am I old at 15 now? Should I marry a 50-year-old man? Fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. And sexist. And I'm not feminist by any means, but that's the most sexist thing I've ever heard. You know? And people here are just stupidly obsessed with whether I'm a man or a woman. You have people here who sound like, not only are you have trolls, but then you have the ones that sound like they're actually serious. It's so fucking stupid. Looks like a dinner date point of view. Yeah, I've been just doing chores and playing games all day, guys. I need to reevaluate my structure. I think you're disgusting, Durs. I can name like a million gazillion YouTubers that do it too. You know, have their dinner on YouTube. A lot of people do it. I think you only find it disgusting when a woman does it in front of the camera. Very insecure person we have here. Yeah, because I forgot my dinner. And often I do this because I don't like eating, talking with my mouth open, or, you know, eating in front of you guys. But when else am I supposed to eat? Like, never. And I got a live stream because I haven't been doing it as much. You know, I've got to. This is my fucking job, guys. It really is right now. And ignoramuses can say whatever they want. I started this live streaming not even half a year ago. January this year. January, yep. Yep. Okay, so it's been just half a year. I went from 422 subscribers up to 8,000. I think we now have like 8,030 or 40. And that's pretty good. That's some good progress right there. Some men literally think that women shouldn't even be able to eat in public, let alone show their faces. Kind of like the way it is in some Middle Eastern countries where women are told not to show their faces. Women should be seen, not heard, and you should all sit on a shelf and look like my dolls. Especially when I have guests. Why do you think the feds are disclosing info on UFOs and aliens? That's something I'm curious about, to be honest. Because none of that really makes sense to me. You know, I gotta look more into that. It's just something that it just seems so far gone. It doesn't seem like reality. So I'm not that concerned about whether there's aliens at the moment or not. I want a fucking stimulus package. I want some payback for all the scams and all the, you know, all the stealing and our tax dollars going to bullshit causes, you know, and I mean, all the scamming and frauding, you could go on and on and on and on. There's trillions of dollars of it, and yet not a single one of us gets any payback. I don't like that. That's something I'm kind of upset with Trump about. Because I think, you know, even Epstein would be way more, it is an important thing to discuss and to get to the bottom of. I think that Epstein is way more important than focusing on UFOs at the moment. Seriously. Like, why are we doing this? That literally seems like a blatant distraction to me. But there could be other things that I just am not aware of at the moment, you know? I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt, and I'm trying to be patient and just wait for what's to come, whatever it is, but it doesn't seem like we're gonna make much progress or help many people in this shitty economy we have when we're focusing on aliens. It just seems ridiculous to me. But I haven't looked much into it. I want to know why billions are spent on war, but they can't give everyone at least a one-time rent payment to help the citizens. Well, we need to keep our country safe, and people will lie and they'll lie to you. But he isn't blowing up civilians. He's not doing what Obama and what Bush did, just blowing everything up, or Dick Cheney, I should say. He's not doing any of that. He's blowing up their nuclear facilities so that they can't threaten us, because they have been. That's all they ever do. Death to Americans and death to Jews is what they're all about. And so it is good. That's a priority right there. You know, keeping the illegal immigrants out. That's a priority. That's something that's making it so that we can't afford anything. All the free stuff is being given to them, all to the illegal immigrants, while you have Americans struggling. You have homeless veterans, you know, and yet you have some illegal immigrant who some of them belong to gangs being given free shit, you know? That's not right. I think Trump's doing a good job in that regard, but I honestly, if I were him, I would focus less on UFOs and more on repaying the American people. It's ridiculous. Are you on drugs again, The Who? You don't know me. Why would you assume that? Out of the clear blue. I don't look like I'm on drugs. You know, you gotta remember that when people blatantly ask you that question, are you on drugs again? It's to insult my appearance. 100%. He's telling me I look wretched. He's telling me I look like a junkie. Disgusting. And if I were, I probably wouldn't be eating this right now. Unless it was weed we're talking about. But yeah, I didn't just come pull this up here because I'm trying to prove to people that I actually eat. Cause I try to avoid that. But you know, same like it is the same thing that you'll see with lots of women, indeed. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. If I don't eat on camera, people ask me if I ever eat, and they'll call me names, tell me I got like, that I'm skeletal or look bad in some way, and then if I just happen to have my dinner here with me and I get on to eating it and enjoying it with you guys, it's like, yeah, get yourself a bowl, guys. We can feel like we're having a meal together. That's how mukbangs originated in Korea. It was more of a thing to make people feel less lonely because we don't eat at the table as a family anymore. Then the Americans hijacked it. And like with everything, they made, it was just became overindulgent. And yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I do eat on camera, people say it's disgusting. If I don't, people call me, just make assumptions about me. And it doesn't matter what I say because, I don't believe the slogan of believe all women, because some women are damn liars, You shouldn't just believe people without, having a reason to believe them, or disbelieve them without having a good reason to disbelieve them. Just stay neutral until you know the facts. But I have a feeling that if I say, yeah, I eat, guys, people just don't believe me because I'm a woman. And it's just, you see us all as petty. You put us all into one box. You have people treating us like no woman should ever design video games because of these stupid ass Karen libtard women who try to make the rest of us look bad, You just stop thinking in black and white, god damn it. Oh, you must be a liberal because you got short hair now. I'm sorry, we're not your fucking paper dolls, buddy. You don't dictate what my mind is or how I think about what my stances are. Basically just because of how I cut my hair. I know conservative women with short hair. I don't know a single conservative woman with a septum piercing, though, I'll tell you what. Okay, we're done with that. Finally. I actually don't really care to eating. I don't really like eating very much. It depends on what it is. It depends on whether I have an appetite or not. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I typically forget to do that because I find it boring. You're a very attractive woman. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Carol. Hey, thank you, Carol. Yeah, I'm pretty healthy. Mm-hmm. So, wow. Benjamin Netanyahu, huh? You're funny. That would be hilarious if that was actually uh, Benjamin Netanyahu. That's a funny name too, Netanyahu. Yeah, I don't take Xanax. Mm-mm. I think that I'm better looking than I have ever been in my life. I have no problem being 35. I'm more toned, more um, wiser, more toned, more energetic. There's nothing wrong with being 35. Anyone who tries to shame a woman just because she happened to reach the age of 35 when aging is a privilege, getting old is a privilege, is just beyond me. It's beyond me. Like, why would you shame someone for something they can't even help? We all age, including you. All living things. And if I didn't age, can you imagine all the scientists that would be swarming around me and everyone trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong with me? Damned if we do, damned if we don't. Yeah, I've been playing, I like men. I've been playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That's a good game. Hey, thank you. Jesus loves you too. I subbed. Thank you, Coachisms. Skinny isn't always unhealthy. Exactly. Here's the thing, though. When the average weight, and just because it's the average doesn't make it healthy, by the way. If enough people get up to 300, 500 pounds, and that'll become the average. It just means that there are more people in America who are 500 pounds than those who are not. Okay? Of course, that's not the case, but I'm just, as an example, that's just what it means to be the average. So, if there are more people, if most people are severely or just overweight to severely overweight in America, which they are, there are a lot of obese people, and there are a lot of people who are overweight in America, then someone who's just walking around and they're just a normal weight, it could be just a very, very typical normal weight, like I'm 5'7", and whatever, even if it's like 145 pounds, which wouldn't, I'm very small bone, that would, it'd look different on me than with some other people who might be more, have a stockier bone structure. But then people, you'll have obese Nancy walking over and thinking that this person who's 5'8", 145 pounds is fat, or no, too skinny. They'll look at someone who's just a normal ass weight and think that they're dying of emaciation. So yeah, I mean, people tend to stay in their own fucking bubble, and they think that whatever it is that they perceive on the outside, that must be it. That's there's nothing else to really look into. Like maybe there's a reason for why everybody's getting so damn fat. Doesn't make it normal, or it doesn't make it like a healthy weight, just because you see that most people are, gotten a little bit overweight. That's not normal. But people begin to think that that's normal when it's what you usually see around you. It's become normalized. Is that, oh no, it's not Mexico mango, I wish. It says frozen pina colada. Benjamin Netanyahu gave you $100, huh? Agents don't age until they do. Yeah. Well, people will say mean things when they're jealous too. I'm aging pretty damn well, if you ask me. I'm 35, guys. I'm 35 and a half. Okay? My birthday's in February, and I was born in 1991. So I think I'm aging pretty damn good. Yeah, you know, even people who've become a lot wiser, that wisdom has nothing to do with whether or not someone still has problems and bad habits. You know, I'm aware that this is a bad habit. I've tried quitting. You're not telling me I'm not aware of anything that I'm not aware of. I was addicted to heroin for 6 fucking years, and I quit that shit. I fought and I fought and I fought. I relapsed 3 times because that's fucking par for the course. And I've been clean for 3.5 years. I was a chain cigarette smoker. I smoked 1.5 packs of cigarettes a day. I managed to quit that. I've struggled with eating disorders. I've brought that up. I've brought that up on my stream. I work really hard. And I have become a lot wiser from it. I've had like 10 friends fucking die. My boss of 10 years just died 2 or 3 days ago. You don't know anything about me. And you sound like a complete and utter fool. Telling me you can't be that wise sitting there vaping that shit until you're 35 years old. You have no idea how retarded you sound. You don't know me. And you cannot discern a person's entire fucking life story just by glancing at them on a live stream. Well, your outfit. Thank you, Darth Vader. Yeah, that's, well, Adore the Great, no one really cared. It's about, you know, one that needs to care about you. Well, yeah, that's what I tell people. Because you see, you're never gonna quit heroin unless you want it yourself. Or cigarettes for that matter. Or a lot of other things. You cannot succeed in that unless you want it. You have to want it. And you have to at least see a life outside of this habit that's more desirable. Yep, heart matters more than anything, yep. But, you know, with the live streaming, you know, you got people just hating so hard over little things that has nothing to do with them, or, you know, has no bearing, no reflection on my character, really. You know, I can, just about everybody I know vapes, which doesn't make it a good thing for me to use or vape for that matter, but it's hard. It's really, really hard, man. It's not becoming either, and I think some of these people just don't like it because it looks unattractive, and they'd probably much rather see me smoking more damaging cigarettes than this, because it's just a turn-off. And that's the only reason why some people care about, you know, it's the only reason why anyone would, or so they can discredit me in other ways. So that they can tell me, oh, so you've got no right to talk to people about addiction when you vape, you know? It's to discredit me too. Which is just, it's ridiculous. Your normal way, that's what we as men want, yeah. Well, the thing is, I agree. Most people just, they're attracted to healthy and competent, you know? They want someone who will, you know, fight through life with them and get old with them, you know? And I think that's good. We got a lot of weirdos too who, you know, are obsessed with super skinny women. I wouldn't trust anyone who, you know, wants to date Ariana Grande, man. I mean, she's just, god damn. And it's not just because she's so small. It's that she's like, that's not why I don't like her at all, man. If anyone thinks that, that's ridiculous. The reason why I don't like Ariana Grande is because she's a serial home wrecker and she has fun doing it. She has fun ruining the lives of she's not a girl's girl. And it's disgusting. I've encountered someone like that. And, yeah, they're just bad people. It's a power trip 100%. This person thinks I have a big forehead. Look, only 4 fingers fit on it. Only 4 fingers fit on this forehead. That is not a big forehead. But you're just not used to seeing larger foreheads because despite the fact that your hairline is receding all the way to the back, your forehead's probably about that small because your brain is probably about that small. You're aging very well. You look about 24. Thank you, Matt. I mean, I'm lucky because heroin can age you a little bit. I think. I know meth ages you real bad. In certain ways, it also kind of stunts your growth a little bit in other ways, emotionally especially. Yeah, you're looking very good. Thank you. Are you a Pisces? Yes, I am, Justice. I'm not big into astrology, but of course we all know what our signs are because everybody asks us, you know what I mean? Good job, thank you. I'm 38 and I'm aging great. My profile pic is from 2 weeks ago. Huh. Geese, huh? I can hardly see. I wish I could see it. Probably see it better if I were on my computer. What the fuck is even that? Did you use drugs? Yeah, I did. That's why I come onto these streams and I try to encourage other people to never give up hope and to, you know, and to at least try to get clean. Seek help, seek counseling. You know, it could be so exciting when new doors open up for you. But yeah, that's why I started these live streams in the first place, because early on in my recovery, I used to watch a lot of content like Andrew Huberman and other stuff, you know, like I was trying to learn about dopamine, how it works and how the brain works and how addiction works and how to get over addiction and all these other recommendations and distractions and all that. And I'd read the comments on these videos and people would say that we need more of it. There were some people in the comments saying we need more of this stuff, so I thought that, you know, why don't I actually, you know, take something that was really bad in my life and make it into something that helps somebody else and can actually do some good. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But seriously, it's I think it's evil. Fucking borderline evil. When people tell you that you're not allowed to take something that was traumatic or bad in your life and turn it into something good. There are some people who will treat you like you're grifting or like you're exploiting bad experiences or that you're just, you know, that you're just a bad person because you're trying to, you know, take something bad, namely my heroin addiction, and turn it into something that advances my recovery and other people and helps other people in turn. I think that's a good thing. I think that the best counselors were addicts themselves because they have experience. And it's damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because people will complain about the fact that their counselor wasn't an addict, and so what do they know? And then you have assholes saying like, you know, oh, you shouldn't be, you know, you shouldn't be asking so-and-so junkie to help you out because you shouldn't be giving them your money because they're a junkie. Even if they've been clean for 10 years, they're gonna say that shit, you know. People like to put you down because you make them feel weaker. You make them feel insignificant because you've succeeded in your recovery, and now they feel small because they're probably at home beating their girlfriend after one too many drinks every night. Who knows? That's just an example. Got a lot of people like that in the world. Are opioids legalized? Heroin? No. That's not how it works. I'm not begging astrology either. I'm also a Pisces. I do know a lot about our sign. Pisces are notorious for having poor boundaries and having to learn them. You know, I I'm not really good with boundaries as it concerns my own boundaries. Like, I'm not good at saying no. And I've had to learn that. That's another thing that can pertain to wisdom. I've been bad about saying no my whole life. You know, especially when it's people I respect and care about. I have a really hard time. I'm always worried that if I ask for them to give me my space and my boundaries, they'll just get angry. And believe me, that's not too far-fetched a worry, to be honest. I don't ask them even now because I'm worried they'll get angry, you know what I mean? It's just... A lot of people have a hard time saying no and asking that their boundaries be respected. You know, like a lot of people get offended over having to respect people's boundaries. It's really weird. Because, you know, if someone asked me to respect their boundaries, I'd 100% back off, you know what I mean? It's like, I get it. I get it when I need my space. Like, this person needs their space too. What's wrong, you know, with respecting people's wishes? You know, some people just can't, though. Their little egos can't take it. You know what I mean? The other thing about Pisces is they get along with and compatible romantically with every other sign, and Pisces gets along with most everybody. Yeah, I seem to get along pretty well with Virgos for some reason. Actually, not Virgo. I lied. Capricorn. I tend to get along for whatever it's worth. Again, I'm not into astrology, but I've noticed that everybody asks you what your sign is. And I've noticed that when I think about all my friends' birthdays, I tend to get along with people who were born in December for some reason. I got a few friends that were born in December. Oh, thank you. Gosh, I just saw that before, but I forgot the name. Thank you to whoever donated to my Cash App right there. I really appreciate that. Believe it or not, you've helped me. Thank you very much, Custom Cabinets. That means more to me than you know. It takes courage to talk about your addiction. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do, guys. Thank you, Geese. Yeah, I mean, there'll be a few trolls here and there who say really mean things, you know? But they're just insecure. I feel like that, or I think that they're really dealing with some other things in their lives, and they have to unfortunately for them, they prefer to distract themselves by trolling random strangers online. It momentarily distracts them from their own issues. So, yeah, I'll try not to be too mean this time. But, yeah, it can be a little annoying. Start with Jesus Christ, He's your Lord and Savior. Yeah, I actually regained my faith. I'm a born-again Catholic. Christians worship the sun god. Okay. No, they don't. The Christ is a metaphor for the sun. That is why Christians worship on Sunday. No, that's not true, man. That's not true. That's historically inaccurate. It's because it took God 7 days to create the earth. And it was on the 7th day, aka Sunday, that God decided to rest. He rested on that day. He created, you know, it was like, let there be light. Why don't we read some Genesis, guys? How about that? How about we read some Genesis, yeah? Because someone doesn't understand. Someone is fool enough to say that Christians worship the sun. Because Sunday sun, oh my gosh. How fucking stupid. You're helping a lot of people because there's people that are afraid to even go to meetings, and this can be a platform for me, like a platform for meetings. Thank you, Lulu. That's precisely. And I have people coming to my DMs telling me that my content's actually really, really helping them, so it is worth it to me. So yeah, I think this is a good gig. Hey, Alice knows. Pisces people are really nice, but very emotional. Yeah, you could say I'm pretty emotional sometimes. Yep. Yeah. But I've gotten a lot better at controlling impulses and stuff like that. I never touched meth. You are highly intelligent and eloquent. Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. Setting a few boundaries goes a long way. Once people learn you value yourself, they will also value you. Trust me. Oh, I agree, Tara. I agree. And the people who won't respect you for respecting yourself, they're not worth it. You should actually run away from those people as fast as you can. Because, you know, if your resilience and strength and your courage and having a resolute stance, being able to say enough is enough, when a person is able to say no and no, yes, no, like a person is self-assured, if a person is self-assured, that might trigger some people. And those people who get triggered by that, you should run away from them as fast as you can. Because the reason why they get triggered by that is because they want to use you. And if they can't, you know, if they see that you're self-assured and that you're wise to it and that you know what's up and you know, it's like you don't need them anymore. It happens a lot in relationships. You don't need them anymore. They'll some of them will absolutely lose their shit, or they'll attempt to, you know, keep the Stockholm syndrome going or whatever, you know, or whatever it is, you know. They'll try to press down upon, you know, bear down on you with their thumb. You have to be able to stand your ground, know where you stand, and say enough is enough. Hell, man, don't even have to say anything. Whatever the situation is, get the fuck out of there. You know, if you're in a situation where someone's actually taking advantage of you and not letting you grow, not letting you move, not, you know, not letting you find happiness, they're using you, man. Don't let it continue. I agree 100%, Tara. God, J. Rom is a loser. You're a beautiful lady. I would have never guessed. Oh, thank you. You know, I mean, I think a lot of people confuse heroin and meth if they've never had any experience with it, because they spread a lot of misinformation on that too. You'll find all these mugshots in the newspaper, and you'll have Sally goes to prison. You have the before and after pic, like the second time she's been in prison, and they both look like she's aged. Like from the first time she went to prison to the second time, it looks like she aged like 40 years. That's meth. And they might have it labeled as this woman did heroin and look what happened. No, it's meth. Heroin doesn't do that to you. It'll fuck up your teeth, it'll fuck up your veins, but it's not gonna do that to you. Am I gonna get the new Wednesday dolls? I didn't even know they had any Wednesday dolls. I'm trying to save my money. Oh, I only spend it if I really have to. Only if it's Shando. If I need, you know, Shando's food and medication and stuff like that. Or if it's computer parts that helps me with this, you know. Or if there's a game sale, if there's a Steam game sale, and if I see Elden Ring has gone from $50 to $60 down to between 10 and 15 or 20 even, I definitely buy it. But yeah, I'm being careful. Investing. chocolate gives you zits. Yeah, sugar does that to me too. Sugar and not changing my pillow sheet, kissing my dog too many times. Kidding. I don't think that really does it. But yeah, my dirty pillow sheet. If I don't wash my pillow sheets every week, and if I sit around playing video games all day, every day, then that starts to happen too. But I have this lotion here somewhere that. Oh yes, this stuff. See this? Oh shit! This stuff right here. I'm not sponsoring it or anything, but it makes, if you have a little abrasion or a wound and you apply just a little bit to that area, it really eliminates it quickly. But yeah, I'm actually gonna apply some of that. I love this stuff because it does help. You're a yes person in a selfish society. I feel that. Well, you know, I don't like hurting people's feelings, but as I get older, I have no problem telling it like it is. As long as, you know, I mean, I'm diplomatic about it though. I don't go straight out and, you know, try to make a person upset. You know, I'm usually, I try to be diplomatic, and it depends on who you're talking to too, you know. It depends on who you're dealing with, whether you feel comfortable around them or not, you know. But yeah, don't let anyone fool you. What are we talking about tonight? Hi, Chattercher. We're talking about a lot of things, anything and everything under the sun, but we're talking about addiction. We're talking about addiction and habits, and I'm answering questions, and someone said that Christians worship the sun god, and newsflash, we don't. We worship the one true God. We're made in his image and likeness. Actually, not. And because of that, we're gonna read some Genesis. But I'm also gonna recite the Apostles' Creed because I'm Catholic, and we don't worship the sun god. I don't know why that asshole would say such a thing. Okay. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell. On the third day he rose again. He ascended into heaven and sits at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From thence he shall come to judge the living and the dead, and his kingdom will have no end. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen. That's pretty much it. Yes, keep that mind sharp, baby. Yes. That's right. Hi, in Christ alone, Catholic sister. Sister, Catholic sister. Okay, sorry. Hi. The sun god argument is debunked a long time ago. He got that from the Zeitgeist video that's decades old, had many fallacies debunked by Google easily. Oh dear Lord, I didn't know he got that from a dumb video. Let me write this down so I can look it up, guys, because that sounds like a rabbit hole clusterfuck. Let me see. Zeitgeist. The Zeitgeist. I like that word. They must have said that word 1,000,000 times when I was in art school. It is applicable though. Because when you look at the art of certain periods, the art movements of their respective periods, the music sounds like the art. You know, if art had a sound, it would sound like the music of the time, like Impressionism and Debussy or Ravel. Just you look at it like a Monet or a Renoir painting or a Degas painting, and you can almost hear Arvo Pärt or I love Arvo Pärt, and or Debussy or Ravel, like I mentioned, or beautiful. You look like the singer from the Cranberries. I get that a lot. I had a friend who used to sit around at the cafe. Well, you know, he was like a regular there. He sat there every day and translated. He told me I looked exactly like Dolores O'Riordan. he said it was like a mirror. You know, like it just looked like she's looking in a mirror or something. He told me I looked exactly like her. I don't know. My lips are a little fatter than hers. I thought she was gorgeous. I think she's prettier than me. Yep, no contact can save your life indeed. But I think a lot of people are going no contact with their parents without really thinking it through. And a lot of times it's just because their parents disagree with them, you know, especially when it's liberal kids who've been brainwashed by their universities. And then they start hating their parents because their parents disagree with them on shit that they're just now learning in college, you know. They're all being brainwashed with Marxism. They're probably going home and preaching to their parents, and their parents don't agree. So they're like, okay, I've disowned you, Dad or Mom, and then they walk off. I hear about way too many instances like that going on. It's really sad. So, you know, and there's one that's close to home. Kind of a similar incident. I don't approve of that. But yeah, I mean, there are bad people out there that take advantage of people, including their kids, and sometimes it's good for kids to emancipate themselves. But I feel like most of the time when I hear about it these days, the parents aren't the problem, unfortunately. These days. I'm still a sweet person, Cyber Guy. I'm not angry at anything. But I don't just take shit, okay? I don't just take shit, and I ignore the assholes. And I tell it like it is, man. I'm just honest, and if being honest pisses people off, I don't know what to say. I just don't care. I really don't care. Don't let anybody control you. That includes family. Yep, indeed. You know, you start out anything like this kind of shy and awkward a little bit, just sort of pensive. But I'm way more open and honest. I mean, not that I wasn't open and honest before, but it's not as difficult for me to just be myself, honestly. And and when I started this out, I expected for there to be complete assholes and trolls. It's par for the course. If I didn't know that, I mean, if I didn't expect that, and you know, I'd probably be showing my reactions differently. You know, it's just but knowing that it's par for the course, I can handle it. And if I didn't think I could handle it, I wouldn't be doing this. That's, you know, me telling people that they're full of shit and that they're assholes or whatever, or fucking retards, just because they're calling me names. You know, I'll be nice if you're nice to me. In fact, I'll start at ground zero. I'll be nice to you if you've never said a word to me. You know, I'm just a nice person. But if people are gonna treat me like shit, if people are gonna be mean to me, I'm not gonna be Mr. Nice Guy anymore. Or Mrs. Nice Lady. I'm not gonna be nice anymore. If people are gonna be mean to me, I'm not gonna kiss their ass. I'm not gonna be like, oh, will you Okay, sorry. I'm sorry for cutting my hair, guys. I'm sorry I displeased you. I'm sorry I displeased all these insecure, chronically online men. Stupid. You know, often people say that sort of thing because, like, they like a person, they prefer a person that they could easily take advantage of. To you know, and then when that person stands up for themselves, it makes them feel a bit uncomfortable. Both my parents were alcoholics and drug addicts. I have never drank or did drugs because I've seen what it does to people and how it takes over. God bless you, and I'm glad you overcame that. Thank you, Geese. Yeah, you know, I can relate to that, but in a different sense. You know, just when you see your parents or someone you love, someone you're related to or close to, struggling with something like that, it serves as a good warning for you. You know, it could also be that, oh, I'm probably not going to be able to handle alcohol that well because so and so does in my family doesn't handle it that well, and there we have a long line of people who struggled with alcohol, so it's probably best for me not to touch it, you know. Yeah, I agree. I'm not built like a guy. I've got fucking hips. And I'm not gonna strip for you in order to prove myself. I'll bet that's what you want me to do, huh, Alex Carson? I'll bet you want for me to strip for you to prove that I'm a woman. Stupid bitch. And I can talk like that. I don't give a shit. I'm getting so sick of that shit. It's so boring and so annoying. If you were to dig up my body 1,000 years from now, you'd be able to determine that I've got XX chromosomes by the width of my pelvis. That's all they'd need to see. That's all they'd need to see. That's all they'd need to see. Okay. 1 second. Oh, crack my back. Namaste back. Thank you. Communist China is spying on all of us, yes. Oh, wouldn't surprise me. Surveillance is scary as fudge, guys. You look like a young Carol from The Walking Dead. I'm gonna look that up. I haven't seen The Walking Dead in so long. I don't think I've seen the whole thing either. My favorite character, forgetting what his name is though. He's that one who kind of looks like Theo Vaughn, I think. The guy who kind of looks like Theo Vaughn. I love Theo Vaughn. You know that character? Let's see. The Walking Dead. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Carol. Young Carol. So does it show her like in her past life? Oh, as soon as you said young Carol, I knew which character you were talking about. I don't think I've seen her young though. The younger Carol Pelletier on The Walking Dead was a quiet, timid housewife trapped in an abusive marriage with her husband Ed and mother to her young daughter Sophia. Sorry, I like the name Sophia. I like the name Ed too, but I wouldn't name my kid Ed. I like Edward, but I don't like thinking about Big Ed. Ed, and Eddie. Have you ever watched that show? That was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. The character was famously portrayed across all seasons by Melissa McBride, meaning there was no separate younger actors cast for flashbacks. Okay. Where's the younger one? That's probably what I'm gonna look like when I'm old then. Yeah, she's a good-looking older woman. She is. She is. I wouldn't mind looking like that when I'm older. You know. I wouldn't mind looking like that when I'm 70. Good looking. You know? Listen, take care of the world, grow stuff, take care of animals. That's our job, but everyone forget about it. Yeah. You know, take care of each other. You know. And before we take care of others, we gotta take care of ourselves. You can't help other people unless you're able to care for yourself, unless you're good. Unless you're good, you cannot, you're not gonna be able to take care of other people. Same with our country. We can't let more immigrants into our country if we have Americans who are on the streets struggling, can't afford housing, can't afford health insurance, can't afford rent or food or anything. You know? You got homeless veterans on the street. That should be our fucking priority right there. You know, putting an end to homelessness. We should forget about the UFOs for now and focus on getting rid of homelessness and pay back the American people, including me, for all the scams, all the bullshit that has happened because of Biden. It's ridiculous. I hope Rubio wins in 2028. Seriously, you should never kiss a dog. They have like 180 different bacteria in their saliva. Yeah, I don't come up and kiss my dog. He'll sometimes lick me on the hand, but Shando's not a big licker. Only time he ever gives me a lick is when he's genuinely thanking me for something. Like if I do something he really likes and he's visibly happy, he's prancing, he's wagging his tail, he'll come up and just 1 or 2 licks and that's it. And it's only after I do something that he's really happy about. It's his way of saying thank you. I've never had a dog do that. Usually it's just here or there. They just lick you or they don't, They're either excited to see you and they're just lick, 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 lick. Shando licks my hand when he's super grateful about something. It's super cute. But yeah, I heard of this one guy who got licked by his dog. The dog licked a wound by accident. And this guy ended up getting sepsis. In fact, I think he lost his nose and a few other things. Yeah, it's scary that can happen. It's rare. But yeah, it's good to have antiseptic ointment on hand. It's good to have this kind of stuff. I was looking for that today. And I found it's a Neosporin. I've got pain relief cream and I've got triple antibiotic in case shit hits the fan. And I lost the lid to this guy. Should get a little piece of plastic or something. Huh. I love Jesus, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Amen. I saw The Legend of Billie Jean Afton Summers. I did. I saw that the other night. Thank you, Rafasa Cyril, for subscribing. I saw that movie. That was a really good movie. I recommend it to you guys. The Legend of Billie Jean. So good. You're gonna feel nostalgic while watching it, even if you weren't born in the 80s. I was born in 91 and I felt nostalgic while watching that. I kiss my dog and she's my best doggy friend. I'm kidding. I kiss my dog, she's my best doggy friend. Yeah, I think it's fine most of the time. You just make sure they're not licking your open wound, okay? Because, yeah, just be careful that you don't have a bunch of cuts and scrapes on you. And then I think you should be fine. What do I think about Jews? I love Jews. I love the Jews. So, why? I've also always found Jewish men attractive. I've always been attracted to Jewish men. And they don't, you know, I mean, that's just the pattern I noticed. You know, a lot of Jewish men have dreamy eyes, and I like an aquiline nose that just kind of has that little bump like that, but not, you know, like aquiline, like Adrian Brody's, but maybe just a tiny bit smaller. I think Adrian Brody's the hottest actor on the planet, and I liked John Hurt back when he was younger too. I am not a Green Party devotee. Okay. Sorry, I'm real behind. I'm just gonna kind of skim over these moronic comments. Catholic sister here too. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, when I mean loser comments, I mean the people who are trying to say that Christianity is all about astrology. Okay. That's some flat earth shit right there. When it says in the beginning there was a word and the word was God and the word was good and actually talking about logic and intelligence. I can see that. Yeah, the Cranberries are great. My favorite song is that, oh, of course, the Dream song. The Dream song is really good. And in the music video is my favorite color of all time. It's that beautiful teal blue. I wish I could show you guys music videos on my channel without getting copyrighted. OMG, you do look like the singer from the Cranberries, but more beautiful. Oh, thank you, Geese. I was just saying, thought she's prettier than me, but thank you. I'm a conservative, but I know history. Yeah, well, a lot of people become lean or become more conservative when they become wiser in life. You know, when they begin to understand more so how the word and economics and all that shit works. You know, it's not all like, it's no longer all for one and one for all. Kumbaya. People have to fucking, you gotta think about your own best interests and the best interests of the people who are, you know, part of the country you live in. Like the Americans need help now first before we start giving freebies to every other person around the world, you know. They were investing in programs in places like South Africa or whatever. You know, meanwhile you have Americans who are homeless, veterans on the street. Our education system sucks. Our children are not educated, and there's a reason for it. It's to keep us down. It's to keep us dumb. It's to make it so that there are more people voting for the left. All, you know, if you know, you have people like Biden letting all the people around the world come into our country by the thousands, all those people are going to vote for the left. Duh. And yet you have these leftist lunatics who think that, oh, you know, they think that they're so self-righteous and that they're doing the right thing, but it's all very much sugar-coated. There's nothing good about it. They're all they care about is how it looks. I'm more righteous than you. You know, they don't care about these people. It's all it's fake. It's all fucking fake. There's nothing good about it. They're not trying to be good. They only care about whether or not they look like they're doing good to other people in their echo chamber. They think that life's like a Disney movie and that we're the bad guys, they're the good guys. You know? It's false. It's false suicidal empathy is what they call it. precisely what it is. Down with shoplifting or not? Yeah, down with shoplifting. That's never good, man. That, you know, and I've done it before. I regretted it. I was taken, you know, I was taken through the store in handcuffs by the security guard before I even, like, I was too afraid and naive to understand that what they were doing was illegal. They even took my photo and everything up there. And it was just like this shorter, older guy, and then this taller, younger guy who wasn't saying anything. And they're like, "What should we do with you?" And blah, 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 blah. And do you have any, and they're acting like cops. Like, this one guy was acting like a cop. "Do you have anything that's gonna poke me, stab me, prod me?" And I'm like, no. And then he's like taking my photo. He ripped my hat off my head, like he was having a fun time doing this to me. All I took was a pair of gloves. That's all I took. Pull a pair of wool gloves. Granted, they were expensive, but it was one pair of wool gloves. And he's like, "What should we do with you?" I'm like, you know, I what I did was stupid. I don't deserve to be let go, but if you do let me go, I will never do this again. I've learned my lesson. That's pretty much what I said, paraphrased. And he goes over to the taller, younger guy and just whisper, 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 whisper. And he's like, "Okay, we'll let you go, but leave that way so that no one has to look at you." And man, I was so fucking scared. I had no idea that what that person did was illegal too. He was a security guard playing cop, and he gave me the walk of utter shame and humiliation, which on one hand was good for me because I never stole since then. Not once. That was the last time I stole anything. It was really bad. It was very impulsive on my part. Shit. Anna's fully allowed to stand up for her beliefs and shit. It's her channel, thank you, Mez. Absolutely. If it makes people uncomfortable, they can screw off. Yep, she's cried. She cried. You are beautiful. Thank you, Buster Hyman. I was just saying the other day that the name Buster Henry would be so cute for a dog. Buster Henry. Yep, I cut the alcohol chain in my family, and you should be proud of that, cyber guy. You should be proud of yourself, and I mean it. Bro, send money, PayPal? Have you money for me? Dude, you don't ask for money on other people's live streams, man. That's not right. That's very frowned upon for people to come onto other people's channels and start self-promoting left and right. You know? That's not right, man. A beautiful American patriotic woman? Hello, and how are you? Hi, Jeremy. I'm doing good, thank you. You kind of look like Juliette Lewis. I get that one a lot, too. I appreciate it, thank you. She looks nothing like a man. Who said that? I know, right? These people just want to get a reaction from me. I know. I know it. You know, it's ridiculous. And people are just so obsessed with that these days. It's weird, and it just makes me uncomfortable, even if it's not about me. You know, it's just so weird. Theo 1. Sorry, I'm a little behind. Animaniacs, that's a good show. I watched that when I was a kid too. Pinky and the Brain. That was one of my favorites. The pelvis is the only bone in the human body that's different between a man and a woman. Precisely. Except that, yeah, I mean, men typically have a larger lung capacity, broader shoulders, more muscles, more testosterone, blah, 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 blah. Despite their men's brains being bigger, the neurons in women's brains are more compact. It doesn't mean that women have less neurons or are less intelligent at all. It just means that our neurons are more compact. There are other differences too, not just that, but but when it comes to just the skeleton, if they were to dig up my bones and, you have a male and a female and you only see the skeleton, you're going to be able to determine whether it's a man or a woman by the width of the pelvis. Women have a wider pelvis to allow for birth. Mm. Yeah, well, try whatever system they have going on in China. It's a lot better than it is in Cuba and other places that practice communism. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have a different system that works a little bit better. I feel like they're beginning to improve though. I have to look into that again because I haven't really delved into that very much. Carol was and still is a good-looking woman. Yeah, she is. Good Omens? Yeah, I've never seen it. Let me look that up. I'm just gonna write that down. I'll check it out sometime. Good Omens? Sure, I'll check that out sometime. Thank you. I like suggestions like that. Yes, we cannot take on the whole world's problems. We need to help ourselves before others. Indeed. I have a fat, lazy Rottweiler named Dio. Yo, doesn't it seem like Rottweilers tend to have a propensity to get chubby? And I think that might be one reason why my dog is fat, kinda. Well, I mean, he's not obese or anything, but he has a propensity to put on pounds, my dog, Shando, really easily. He's got 19% Rottweiler in him. And I only feed him twice a day. I give him a smaller meal in the morning and then a normal sized one in the evening, and I avoid giving him any other food at all costs. Oh my God, someone named Pascal Andre someone named Pascal Andre just requested $1,800 from me on my PayPal, guys. Are you serious? Does he really think I have that money? I've never had that happen to me before. Weird. Maybe I should change my password, dude. Like, I don't know. I guess he couldn't request anything from me, but it's just kind of sketchy. Wasn't that other person who was just begging me for money and shit? Begging my viewers for money? Sophia means love. It comes from Latin. One of the goddesses of love. That's my philosophy. It means the love of knowledge, for the love of wisdom. That is beautiful, Matt. That is beautiful. I've always liked the name Sophia. My name means graceful. John chapter 3 verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Amen. Your smile is so beautiful when you laugh. Thank you, Geese. Yeah, eat, get strong, you're healthy, you're beautiful. Thank you, Alex. If you can answer this little pop quiz question, then I will subscribe. Okay. What famous military fighter jet had wings that could fold backwards? Was it... Dude, how would I know that? Was it the F-14, the F-104, or the F-35? You're only going to subscribe to people who are as interested in aircraft as you are? I don't think most people know the answer to that question, my friend. That's okay, though. I guess I can guess. Can't give you an educated answer, though, man. I never really studied aircraft and all, I never memorized F-14, F-104, and F-35. Seems ridiculous. But I'll guess F-14. I'll just guess the first one. I'll bet I'm wrong. I look like the girl from Better Call Saul. Oh, you mean Saul's girlfriend? What was her name? It's like super vague in my mind, like Maria Horner or Horn or something like that. Let me look it up. I have to look it up now. Better Call Saul. Oh, Rhea Seehorn. I knew there was horn in her name. Rhea Seehorn. Yeah, she's pretty. Thank you. And I like that Jonathan Banks was in there. You know that guy, Patrick Fabian, who played Howard Hamlin? The guy who talks like this. In the show? Patrick Fabian. He was Howard Hamlin. He was his lawyer buddy. He actually came to this state. He came to Oregon. And he visited the cafe I worked at for 10 years. Except that he came in the morning when I wasn't there. Which made me a little bit sad. I was like, oh man, it's one of my favorite shows and I missed it. He just came in to say hi because we were the oldest cafe standing in Portland at that time. So that's probably why he stopped over, because it was a bit of a landmark in a way. Hotspot, Portland hotspot. You're... Wow, cool dolls. Thank you, Ellie. Well, yeah, everyone's been trying to corrupt Christianity, and there have been evil people and even popes who've hijacked, religion and, using it as a tool to control people. That's been something that's been going on for a while, and God has warned about it in the Bible multiple times. Beware of false prophets. It's a free country, but people like to be dictators. Exactly. It's like the people who say, defund the police. They don't want to defund the police. They want to be the police. It's like, no shit. I heard feminism is like weaponized ideology from the left. All that woke crap is cancer. Indeed, I agree. I bet the actual suffragettes who fought for women's lives, they'd be turning in their graves. You got people pretending that we're oppressed and like we have no rights and shit when we do. I'm not going to be a victim because someone wants for me to pretend that I am. Hey, Batty, are you from Canada? Because if you are, I agree 100%. And I gotta admit, you're pretty attractive. The damn government only has empathy when it means money, yeah. I'm from America, man. But shout out to Canada. You guys got a lot of beautiful natural scenery there. I wouldn't mind going there someday. Beautiful geology. know, the left, they were certainly letting illegal immigrants vote. That's the whole fucking reason. They shouldn't be able to vote. There's been a lot of corruption in that sense. And even so, they want more, not just illegal immigrants, they want more and more and more and more and more migrants over our border so they have more voters. That's common fucking knowledge now. I mean, I know the left are in denial about that, but it is true. Let me look something up though. Yeah, the Biden-Harris border crisis, non-citizen voting. This is congress.gov. Oh, this is the hearing before the subcommittee on the Constitution and limited government. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Is there an abstract here? That's pretty long. Yeah, it's good to put an end to that, because it's not fair. Actually, in my experience, people who voted MAGA, everyone I know, is they have common sense. They're well educated. I mean, that's kind of like it's a mix, right? But just because you vote for Trump doesn't mean you're not educated. In fact, it often means, in my experience, that you are educated outside of the brainwashing college system that tries to ingrain Marxism into your head. They try to force you to comply with their views of radical feminism, radical fucking leftism, and Marxism, and unless you think like them, they throw you under the bus or they humiliate you in front of everybody. There was this one white dude in my class, and I mentioned this like a billion times. Okay, we're supposed to do self-portraits. He drew a self-portrait of himself as a cowboy on a horse overlooking the landscape. And the teacher says to him, and he's the only white dude in my class, and she says, "Oh, so you're like a white man colonizing the land." She called me misogynist too, because I cited John Steinbeck as an inspiration to my work, some of it. It was like 50-50 men and women were my inspirations. And she just had to call me misogynist because I liked John Steinbeck. And everybody fucking defended me. Everyone said, like, this one guy came up and said, "No, your work is very strong and very feminine and very, it's some of the best work I've seen all year." And then after everybody complimented my work, after a long, awkward pause, she says, "We still love you," or "We all love you." It was so fucking cringe, man. It was just such a fucking cesspool of brain rot. They were just trying to manipulate everybody. It was crazy. And that's the way it is in colleges these days. 97% of college professors in the fucking US are liberal. What does that tell you? It tells you that people who, like me, I was liberal at one point, especially when I was in college like that. Except I was suspicious of the things I was hearing and all the brainwashing and shit. I was like, holy shit, I don't agree with a lot of this. But I kept a lot of my views to myself because I was afraid of losing friends and family. And then as soon as I became more honest, I had a relative a close relative, who interrogated all my family members to discern whether or not they voted for Trump. And even if they said nothing, she would block them, cancel them, ostracize them, no more. She told me I was a danger to my family. It was only after I did my research and I educated myself that I began to go MAGA. Not like die hard, like if Trump does something bad, I'm dropping him like a hot potato. I'm not like these assholes who, you know, no matter what the Clintons do, they stand by them. They don't care about all the trafficking victims. They don't. All they care about is their side winning. They don't give a shit. No, it was only after doing a lot of soul searching and research and thinking to myself that I'd rather keep my integrity intact than suck up to people who will drop me like a hot potato if I question Trump derangement syndrome. And I admitted that I had Trump derangement syndrome. It helped me to learn a lot. It helped for me to break out of that fucking echo chamber where you never learn anything and you're just fucking, everything is thwarted. You're just fed lies upon lies upon lies, or anything that's going to advance their agenda. It's just so fucking stupid the way people say, oh, MAGA are all uneducated. Who told you that, huh? Stupid. Fucking stupid. And people like that, they think that education is synonymous with intelligence. So unless you have a college education, then you can't be smart. I've met some of the dumbest people of my life in college. And some of the most intelligent people I've ever known didn't go to college. Fucking dumb. Yeah, there's only 2 genders. I never said there wasn't. I'm not saying trans people don't exist, but there's only 2 genders. I never said trans women were the problem. Never said that. I never mentioned them once in this live stream. But they sure, you know, I have a problem with them forcing themselves into women's sports, or once a man goes to prison, he decides that he's a woman, he can just say he's a woman and they believe him, so he can transfer to a female prison. And you look at their whole record and this is a fact. You look at their record and it's all SA against women, and they want to transfer to a female prison so they can, you know, we all know why they want to do that. It's not because they're women. They're not women. Men who want to do that aren't women. But someone like Blair White, I respect her. I regard her as a woman. I wouldn't have a problem with her going into the female restroom. She acts, talks, walks, and looks like a woman. I don't think she's gonna, you know, she doesn't have ulterior motives like some people do. Some people who are taking advantage of the fact that people are making it into a fad. This is actually causing more damage to trans people and trans people's reputation than anything. Now, I agree with everything that Blair White says on this subject. And she's trans, by the way. So, yeah, whatever. And Buck Angel. I like Buck Angel, too. I'm having a mental breakdown. My girlfriend left me. My dog was trying to comfort me and I screamed at. I'm really sorry, man. That sounds awful. I'm really sorry, man. Kim Wexler, yeah. What happened to your Vince McMahon painting? I had finished that one a while back. If you want to buy that painting, I'll sell it to you. Let me see if I can find it here. I think it's over here. Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. Let me see if I can find that painting here. Oh, no, it might be over here. Yep. Is that it? It's either over here or over there. Here we go. Gotta be careful, though. I don't have much room here. Okay. Oh, my Egon Schiele book. One of my favorite artists. So here's my Vince McMahon painting. I did this a few months ago, guys. But yeah, if you want to buy that painting, I'll sell it to you. Vince McMahon, watercolor on paper. I like that I improvised the jacket design and made it like pop turquoise. It looks good against that bright red background. But there you go. There's a Vince McMahon watercolor on paper, on watercolor paper. Looked a bit like Sam Neill, that guy from Jurassic Park who passed away, I thought. And it's interesting too, because in the reference photo, there was a dinosaur behind him too. But yeah, that's that. I never finished the Prince painting. Wasn't really happy with how the studs turned out there, but yeah, I wasn't really happy with how the studs turned out, but I loved how the face and everything turned out. I need to practice stuff like, that sort of thing. The studs, I didn't like how that turned out very much. But, you know what? This is pretty much finished, except for those 2 buttons right there. I might be able to revise that a little bit and change it around. But yeah, that's Prince right there. And I'll show you guys a few more. I finished that commission of Christ. I painted a portrait of Christ in oil painting. Let me show you guys that now in a second. This is oil on panel. Oil on panel. He's supposed to look like he's enveloped in light, And here's a portrait of my best friend. This is oil on panel. He passed away 5 years ago. This was one of my favorite paintings I've done. I like how the highlight on the forehead and all the textures of the face and everything turned out there. Alright, and let me show you one other one that I like to show you guys, because it's just, I need to clean up around here, and then I can show you some other paintings. Here's John Steinbeck, watercolor and charcoal on paper. So yeah, there's just a few of my paintings there. Got quite a few. You're destined to be dumped by men your whole life. Why would you say that? You don't know me. You don't know me. In fact, I'm the one who dumps them usually, to be honest. And it's only when I have a good reason to. Or if we're going out for a week or so or two, and I'm like, I've given it so many chances. I don't feel any chemistry. And I know if I keep this relationship continuing, I'm going to make it worse. And he's not going to be happy if I'm trying to force myself to be happy in this relationship when I know damn well what it feels like to be in love, whether it's going to click or not, whether we're meant to be. I've been in love. And when I'm in love with something, I pursue them hard, full on. I don't... that's not something that I'm not just going to settle for anything. I can't do that. I'd rather be alone my whole life. And there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. I'd rather be alone my whole life than end up with someone I don't love or who doesn't love me. That's a very important decision. But yeah, I'm going out, and I have a whole get together planned out. I'm gonna be meeting some new people, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully something good happens, you know? I'm hoping that I'll meet somebody. I'm not trying to avoid it, but I am a little bit reclusive by nature. Or introverted, I should say. Yeah. Yeah, I like men with a good sense of humor. That's a big thing I look for. Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard for a man to steal my heart, you know? For me, it's, you know, the personality and the humor are really, really important. And there are some boring ass men in Oregon, I'll tell you what. Or just, you know, kind of flaky. The last person I dated, he wanted to, basically first thing he asked me when I go into the cafe to see him, I give him a hug first thing, and his first question is, do you have a job? And I'm apologetically telling him, no, it's been hard. I was working at this cafe for 10 years. They shut their doors, and I've been really searching. I have this dog attached to my hip, blah, 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 you know. But how are you doing, blah, blah, blah. He proceeds to talk about his ex off and on throughout that short date. He brings up how, like, some of his friends are girls and they like to piggyback ride him. And he proceeds to show me his 5 kids. And I'm thinking, you know what? I never said this, but I'm like, thinking about it. Only reason why he asked me about my job was to see if I could support him and his family. It was just so fucked up. So I ghosted him. It was really fucked up. You know, he's only dating women to, you know, so he can get himself a nanny. He's looking for a nanny. He's not looking for a lover. Maybe he is. But, you know, no thank you. No way. No fucking way. Not only that, but he looked nothing like he did in his profile pic. He looked 20 years younger in that profile pic. I've been catfished by like 80% of the men I've dated online. Mm-hmm. You're a gorgeous lady in every detail. Thank you. Oregon dudes are only... Yeah, it's hard to find good dudes in Oregon. I'm sure they're out there, but it's just hard to find good dudes in Oregon, man. I mean, we're just people in general who are like-minded. I like things like camping. I love going camping. I love backpacking. I love that kind of stuff. I like biking. You know, I like outdoorsy activities. It's probably not that hard to find an outdoorsy man in Oregon, right? But that's why I'm joining a Republican group, so I can meet more like-minded men. Not only that, but I'm going to a potluck, so I can impress them with my cooking. And I thought to myself, that would be a perfect way for me to find a date. Going to a potluck and meeting people there, and hopefully there will be someone there. But if there's not, that's kind of to be expected too. You know, it's either it's there or it's not. But you know, the best way to a man's heart is through your cooking. So, yeah, I'm a good cook. I'm from the USA. Thank you, Mez. Yeah, it's kind of lame that we have to drive it through these thick skulls, huh? I'm not a dude. For sure. Yeah, I'm a good cook. You know. There's some things I'm bad at and things I'm good at. And if there's one thing I'm good at, it's cooking. I'm good at painting, cooking, and video games. And I wouldn't say Republican specifically. I'm moderate, lean Republican. Yeah. Yep. So I have something pretty cool here, guys. It's like a UV light in some resin. It's like a shellac that I apply to my nails, and it protects my nails. Let's see. nails are feeling pretty brittle and weak right now. See that? But if I apply this shellac to them, it acts as a protective, nice hard protective layer. And I do tons of dishes for my family, almost twice a day. So yeah, we're gonna apply some of that. In fact, I have a nail file somewhere. 1 second. 1 second. I always lose that thing. I always lose my nail file. Oh well, I'll have to make do without them. Oh, it's not a very good one anyway. Crackhead, 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 crackhead. Someone's triggered. Someone's triggered. They must have heard me say I lean Republican. You're not a girl, you're a boy. Fucking weirdo. Yeah, these are the only people I talk shit to, man. I talk back to. So that to that one person before said, you used to be nice on your streams. It's like, oh, brother. What, because I don't just, tolerate, I don't timidly tolerate these assholes all day. Yeah, it's just ridiculous that people expect you as a woman to just take it. Just take it. You're so very beautiful. Thank you, Franco. Okay, enough of the spamming. He's gone. I don't like that. Can you dance? I don't think so, man. I've taken one ballroom dancing class and I thought I was a little bit awkward there. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not that good at that. I don't think I'd be a good dancer, to be honest. And again, I don't think I'm a good singer, but I've sung a little bit on my channel just for shits and giggles, and I've had a few people tell me they like the way I sing and that they think I'm a good singer. I don't think I am, though. Have you tried avocado oil for your cuticles? It should help with the brittle part of your nail. You know, avocado oil I have not, but I do cook with it a lot. Sometimes I'll even use some of it for my nail, but I have this stuff here. This is a cuticle luxury spa. I'm gonna apply some of this for now. How about that? Actually, some of the oil, and then I'll apply some shellac. My nails are thirsty, man. They just absorb this shit right up. Yeah, this stuff's good. And it smells good. This stuff smells like milk and honey. You want in, baby? Okay, I gotta let my doggo in. It's fun and healthy way for you to exercise. Sam, what do you see? Aren't you the sober chick? You changed your name. I did, Spast. I changed my name because we talk about a number of things on my channel and we're more than our addictions. And, what was it before? So my Breaking Habits is still the name of my channel, but my URL is Tangent Tea instead of Diary of a Recovering Addict, Because I've been clean for 3.5 years now, and we talk about all kinds of things on this channel. We talk all kinds of tea, and I go on tangents a lot too. So from cooking to politics to religion to art to video games to dogs, and it's just like everything, and addiction, So yeah, I might change my name again. Who knows? So, calling me a crackhead is a true insult, huh, T-Rex? I haven't blocked you yet, but I'm tempted. You're an idiot. I only block fucking morons like you. Okay, bye-bye. You're very beautiful and awesome and intelligent. Haters are weaklings. Thank you. What do I do for exercise? I used to walk a hell of a lot, and I do still. Not as much as I used to. I should though. I don't lift weights that much. I only do them on my streams because it's the only time I remember. You know, it's like people ask me, "What are your workouts?" And suddenly I remember I've got dumbbells. So why don't we do a little bit of weightlifting? For the most part, I move a lot. I do chores. You know. I need to keep doing that because as I get older, my metabolism is gonna go down, and then I'm gonna lose my nice toned muscles, and it'll make me sad. So, yeah, and I'm not gonna shame people at all who say they used to be a crack addict, or even if they said they still are and they're trying to look for help. That's what this channel is about for the most part, is trying to encourage and inspire other people to go the right route and get clean, you know. But you have some assholes here who keep calling me a crackhead, even though I've never touched crack. I was a heroin addict, which isn't good either. A crackhead's not offensive to me. I'm talking about that guy who kept calling me a crackhead for no reason. I'm only offended because it's not true about me, you know? But I don't judge or condemn at all anyone here who says that they dealt with that stuff. In fact, you're more than welcome here. That's not, you're missing the context. Someone here was in caps spamming again and again and again and again and again, like crackhead, 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 crackhead. The whole entire fucking chat was taken up by crackhead, and he was calling me a crackhead. Okay, I'm not talking about you or anybody else here who happened to be addicted to crack. You're welcome here. In fact, I encourage you to come here so that I can try to inspire and encourage you. But if people are accusing me of taking stuff I never touched, that's different. That's different. I feel like someone's fucking spying on me. Wow. No, I just had a big meal, man. Some people are just naturally thin. I don't know what to say. Anyone has a problem with that, too bad. Addiction comes in all forms. Even being a trolling little piece of shit is an addiction. Hey, you got a point there. You know? They gotta fill up that empty, lonely space somehow, you know? They feel insecure probably because their mother doesn't love them. So they have to come online and try to put other random people down. I'm not skin and bones, come on. You know, I know people aren't used to seeing clavicles these days. I'll bet some of these people know who clavicular is but doesn't know what a clavicle means. Yeah, part of it is hereditary. Yeah, my mom was skinny. She had 8 kids too, or 9 kids, and she was really, and she, it was interesting though, because when my mom had her first kid, my dad was eating the same exact stuff she was eating, okay? And my mom was eating for 2, in fact. She's probably eating more than she needed to. Because when you're pregnant, you're only supposed to get, if you're a normal weight, you're only supposed to gain like 25 to 30 pounds. You know, most of it's like water weight, placenta, baby weight, blah, 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 blah. You got a whole bunch of things factoring into the weight gain. Anyway, so my mom had her first kid, and my dad was eating for 2, just like my mom was. And as soon as my mom gave birth, she lost all the weight, and my dad kept it. He's like, what did you do? What the fuck? This isn't fair. So, you know, yeah, some of it is genetic, and Or it could be that you graze too much. It could be that you get up in the middle of the night and you snack too much. Snacking all the time isn't gonna help you lose any weight. You know? I eat twice a day, and I'll have a snack in the middle of the day, but I usually have a big meal in the morning and a big meal in the evening, and that's it. I'm not a big snacker. I eat more than Asmongold, by the way. Just so you know. Asmongold was talking about his diet. I eat more than Asmongold. I was so surprised to learn that he's like between 6'1" and 6'3" or something like that. And in one of his streams, he admitted that at one point he was 108 pounds. Dude, like if you're a man and you're like 6 foot something and you're 108 pounds, that's emaciated right there. That's very similar to how much I weigh right now, and I'm 5'7". So a lot of things come into play, like a lot of factors. Like bone density is a big one, and I don't have the densest bones. There's that, for sure. She's not weird, she's cool, I like her, thank you. And I'm a carnivore too. I've had people accuse me of being vegan out of the blue like they know my whole life. Oh brother, another idiot. I'll bet they have like 10 accounts because they're that insecure. I need sleep, but I also need to look at you. What's your favorite treat? Oh, I'm not answering you. As a young boy. Oh, brother. Trauma can definitely be hereditary. I've heard of that, definitely. Yeah. Anywho. Yeah, the skinny genes are on my mom's side. You got some skinny people on my dad's side too. I think it's mostly the lifestyle though, he doesn't get enough exercise and he grazes. He goes to the kitchen and he just munch. I hear him in the middle of the night eating his cottage cheese and kimchi, munch. It's just like, yeah, he kind of grazes a lot. It's like, most of it has to do with lifestyle. I know that for a fact. Humans aren't meant to have excess weight. I know some Americans think it's normal because it's what they see around them every day, and everybody's so sedentary and just sits around all day and eats junk food. Eating junk food all day isn't normal. Movement is normal. Back in the day, there weren't any overweight humans. You go to a tribe out in the Amazon or whatever, you go to these untouched tribes and you'll see not a single person is even a little bit overweight. It's because they don't have access to all the garbage we do. And they're not sitting around all day. They're moving constantly. That's the way humans are built. That's what humans were made for. So if you're super sedentary and you're just sitting around all day, you really don't have to eat that much. I eat like twice a day. I eat twice a day, morning and evening. And that's enough for someone who isn't nearly as active as she used to be. I used to eat 3 big meals a day. Now I eat 2 because I don't move around enough. Oh boy, here we go. Gosh, we have someone who has got like 10 accounts here. They keep coming back with a new account calling me crackhead. Isn't that fucked up? What a loser. They got nothing better to do. Yeah, don't listen to the haters. I agree. Okay, Willie Winker can leave too. Spam boy is back. I know, right? He just keeps coming back. He's like the turd that won't flush. You're right about eating habits. Hi. Ew, what a loser. I am not a crackhead, you're right. I have never touched crack. I did heroin. I did heroin for 6 years. I'm honest about that. I don't hide anything. I tell you guys exactly what I did. I've been clean for 3.5 years too. That takes a lot of strength, a lot of resilience, a lot of hardship and a lot of resolve. Yeah, I know I'm not a crackhead. What a loser. Ooh, no, do. I meant to. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So proud of you for your journey. Thank you. Thank you, Tara. Congratulations on your sobriety. Thank you, Isaiah. You are God's beautiful creation. Thank you. So are you, baby girls, little planet. Thank you. God loves you so much. I am glad you are clean. Good for you. Thank you. I'm on shrooms right now. Good on you for quitting. I like shrooms, Mellow. Man, I have no issue with shrooms whatsoever. In fact, I've heard they're really good for people overcoming opiate addiction, and especially microdosing. I've heard it can be really good for anxiety and depression. I have no issue with that whatsoever. In fact, no issue. You ever steal from people to get your fix, asking for a friend? You know, I never did that. I stole from a corporation a few times when I got caught, and I told you guys about this earlier in my stream today. One of the security guards played cop and took me up in handcuffs into their office in front of everybody, and they ultimately let me go because they knew that what they were doing was illegal. They wanted to scare me. I'm not allowed back there ever again. They took my photo. But yeah, after that I never stole again. But besides that, I have never, not once in my whole fucking life have I ever stolen from someone I'm close to. A friend, a family member. I've never stolen from a friend or a family member for my fix. I haven't stolen money from a friend or a family member to get heroin. And I know a lot of people do. I'm not judging them. I know how desperate it gets. But I worked at a little local cafe, hole-in-the-wall cafe. I worked there for 10 years. I was working solo afternoons, so I got all the tips, all the money, and I could manage it very well, like with my one hand behind my back. And so after that was over, I'd have enough money, and I'd go get my fix. Sometimes I even got a freebie, you know, from my particular dealer. And when it got really, really bad, when things got really desperate, there was one time, and this was the end, this was the last time I ever did it, that I pretty much sold myself once. And I always regret that. That was terrible that I let myself do that. It's amazing how heroin completely destroys whatever fear you have. Like, you have no fear of anything. Your conception of right and wrong is just completely muddled. It's just in everything in life becomes, how am I going to get heroin, no matter what the cost. And I'm sure I would have stolen from a good friend or family member if the opportunity presented itself and I were desperate at the same time. Let's just say that I'm dope sick. I happen to be at my friend's house. She goes to the bathroom. I see a whole wad of money on the table, and I know that if I take a little bit of it, she won't notice. Or I might be thinking that in that time. She probably would, in fact. She probably knows exactly how much money is sitting there if it's a lot of money like that. And she's probably going to count it all. She probably wouldn't leave it out there with me sitting here, an addict and everything. But just say, you know, if it were a situation like that and I were an addict at that time, I don't know what I would do. Maybe. If I didn't need it, I probably wouldn't. If I were desperate for heroin, I probably would. Or I'd probably ask her if I can borrow it, because you don't want to burn bridges as an addict too. You know, you don't want to make it so you have no access to, you know, someone who's going to help you or get you drugs or whatever when you're deep in addiction like that. You know, you got to be diplomatic about things. But yeah, I never stole from a friend, just to answer your question. Just to be terse. I never did that. Keep moving on with your inner strength. Thank you, Catwalk. Also, there's a healthy amount of body fat to have. It's about 2 to 5%, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I have no idea what I have, to be honest. Yeah, something is wrong with that person. Anti-fat is based on making me like her more. Well, you know, some people just don't admit it. People are so dishonest and insincere. Yeah, I'm anti-fat because it's unhealthy and it's uncomfortable. I've never been fat in my life because I can only imagine, because I get hot in the summertime. I can only imagine what that's like for people who are obese. You know, I don't hate them as, I don't hate them. You know, I don't think that they're bad people. I don't, you know, I don't judge it on like, you know, like you're immoral or whatever. It's just unhealthy. It's not what I'd like for myself personally, you know? I wouldn't want that. Yeah, I'm fat phobic because I wouldn't want that. I'm afraid of being that big, you know? I'd be miserable and unhealthy. People should not be striving to you know, for unhealthiness, being unhealthy because their group of friends thinks it's good, you know? The bottom line is we should be striving for healthier lives, you know, and bettering ourselves, not giving ourselves excuses to throw in the towel and act like oink, 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 oink. Just saying. Not only that, but all these body positive, they think it's completely fine to bully skinny people. But then you tell a fat person, hey, you want to get healthy and exercise? Oh my gosh, you're fat phobic. Tess Holiday treating the word obese and the word healthy like they're slurs. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they act like, oh, body positive. It started out that way. It started out being actually body positive, but then they were really callous and hypocritical towards skinny people. And then as soon as Ozempic comes along, all these fat influencers jump right on that bandwagon. They, you know, as soon as there's a magic pill that'll turn them skinny, all of a sudden body positivity goes out the window and they jump right on it. They're a bunch of hypocrites. 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 Hypocrite. All right? That's just a fact. I like being toned and muscular, guys. I don't care if people call me more of a man for having a muscle. That's stupid. I like Michelle McDaniels. Ooh, my bookmark. You are beautiful, girl. You are beautiful. No simping. Yo, honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with simps. Just like there's nothing wrong with women that like men. You know, it's like, if men are nice to women, a lot of these chronically online men, bitter men, will call them simps, right? It's usually the incel types that call other men simps, right? And it's usually when they see that they're being respectful and honorable and kind and chivalrous to women, right? Well, women get the same thing. When women are kind to men or respect men or love their husband and or boyfriend or whatever, women stand up for white men who are being attacked constantly and being called names and being treated like they're the bad guys. No, we get called for that. Same thing as being a simp, but it's a different wording. Pick me. We're called pick-me's for being agreeable or kind or reasonable with men. For not hating men, I should say. We're called pick-me's. If we don't go around screeching, the patriarchy's out to get me, we're called pick-me's. It's ridiculous. Oh wow, what a loser this person is. Cole B2K, bye-bye. Wow, how many accounts can he have before I've deleted all of them? Or, I mean, blocked them all. I drink blood, that's why I never get fat or age. Like Ellen DeGeneres. Honestly, more people should talk about their addictions. It helps a lot. Absolutely. I you know, I get that type of feedback a lot, and really does give me incentive to keep going with this. It does help people. Based on the feedback I get, I know it's helping. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Yep. Yep. Yeah, well, when it comes to addictions and stuff, it's not like a lot of other things. It's different in that there's a lot of shame attached to it. And a lot of people will keep that shit to themselves. They'll keep it bottled up. And ultimately, that'll lead to relapse. That'll lead to self-harm. That'll lead to telling yourself things that aren't necessarily true and justifying the possibility of relapsing. There are a lot of dangerous things that can come into play when you isolate yourself and don't open up about your addiction and stuff like that. It doesn't mean you're trauma dumping. It doesn't mean you're, we're in a safe space here where you can talk about addiction and the things you've gone through. Just let it off your chest, man. Because we're all about helping people. We're all about improving our lives. And even if you're in the middle of a bad habit, just like I'm in the middle of this bad habit here, that doesn't mean you're not welcome here. I think it helps, even if you're in the middle of addiction, to have someone to talk to. It can be the best next step. Okay. I love your style. Thank you, Bonin. Oh, it's almost 1 in the morning already? Okay, we're going to do this 10 times, and we're going to read the Bible, and then we're going to end the live stream, because I really want to try to improve my schedule. It doesn't help when I smoke weed in the morning. It really doesn't. That's the worst thing I do for myself right now. In terms of my productivity. It makes it so I get up way too late. I do go to bed too late, too. Okay, I gotta like it. Undeniable. Not necessarily paranoia, it's more of an anxiety of being judged. Yeah, there's that, definitely. Or your family and friends moving on away from you, and treating you like you're a bad person. Yeah, for sure. People treating you like you're tainted from now on. Yeah. The worry that you're never going to find a romantic partner because they might see you as tainted. Yeah. It's really hard. But you kind of weed out the insincere people in your life that shouldn't even matter anyway. Or it depends, though. Some of them, it's like, okay, so just wish them the best. It's sad, but they don't want to associate themselves with someone who was an addict at one point, but is doing everything they can to better themselves and has been clean for a while, Don't know what to say about that. Some people just, they want a reason to, some people just want a reason to morally mug you. That's something I'm kind of just pulling out of my ass. But the thing, there's truth to it, though. It's like people, oftentimes, they'll try to hang out with people who they deem less intelligent than them because it makes them look smarter. Same with like morality and all that. People will, they like to feel like they're superior to you, and like other people witnessing can think, oh, that person's good, that person's bad, or it's just people are mogging all the time in so many different ways. There are people who will not hang out with people they deem more intelligent than them because it makes them insecure. I'm kind of different in that case. In that sense, I like to hang out with people who are more intelligent than me because I tend to learn from them, and I find their conversations way more interesting. A lot of my friends are really, really smart. One of them, knows 2 different languages, or 3 different languages, I should say. and is really good with philosophy and music, but not good with math. Some of the most intelligent people I've known were good at math. It's 12:44 in California. Do you know where your pets are? Shando is just hanging out. He's okay. He got a new toy. I talked about that, and as I'm talking about getting Shando a new toy, my mom decided to get the other dog some toys too. So now they're sharing. Okay, guys, let's start that. We're gonna read the Bible and end the live stream pretty soon. Yes, I bought tomato sauce. Okay. Most people think I look graceful with this haircut, but whatever. I don't care. Lots of beautiful women have short hair. Maybe you'll learn one day if you ever touch grass. Okay. Intelligence is only important enough to ensure you get employed properly and not be miserable. Intelligence is just another thing that makes us unique. Yeah, I think there are various types of intelligence too. You could be good with languages and bookish and good at with music and all that, or you could be good at math and or geography or whatever. Analytical intelligence, creative intelligence, emotional intelligence, logical intelligence. You could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. You know, the brain works in so many there's some people who are good at social intelligence but terrible at spelling. You know, I had a math teacher brilliant with math, but he could not remember even his wife's name for the life of him. He'd forget his own name. He could not. There's something in his brain that was just missing, where he couldn't remember names for the life of him. He can remember all equations and numbers, but he cannot remember anybody's name. It was I've never heard of anything like it until then. He was also the nicest math teacher I ever had. Like, he had some compassion and empathy and warmth that I didn't see very often in some of the math teachers I've had. I did have this really nice math teacher at first, though. I've had two good math teachers, but one of them was way too old to be a math teacher. He was like 85 or so, and this was my very first semester of college, and I brought him, community college, and I brought him a Snickers bar and left it on his table for him first day of class, and he was just so tickled pink by that. I don't think I don't think I ever told him I did it, but he was wondering who did it. Yeah, he was a nice person. I'm terrible with remembering birthdays, but great at remembering stuff during exams. Well, that's, I'd rather be better with the exams than the birthdays. Actually, I don't know. It's hard to remember birthdays when you grew up with like 8 siblings. I never said addiction was a type of intelligence. Are you twisting my words? I'm not gonna listen to you. I'm not going to pay you any attention. I'm going to start reading the Bible now. We're going to end this live stream because it's almost 1. I never associated addiction with intelligence. But they have done studies on this, and they find that a lot of people who become addicts tend to be intelligent people, interestingly enough. It's not a very intelligent decision, but there's a pattern that's, that's been studied, where people... This pattern suggests that a lot of intelligent people become anxious addicts. And you might be able to do your own research on that. I don't know. That's just something I've heard. I never stated that myself. I never said addiction was intelligence. Never. Never. I said there are various types of intelligence in this world, responding to someone else. I never said that. Okay, you know what? I don't like people who lie about me. I don't welcome people like that. I don't like people who lie about me and twist my words around. Alrighty. So let's read some Psalms, guys. Because we are about to end the stream pretty shortly here. Here's a good one. Psalms. Chapter 27, guys. This is applicable. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Ooh, yes, I forgot about my glasses. One sec. I have my glasses. Over here somewhere. What? I just saw them, literally. Literally. Sorry, now that's becoming a dumb habit for me to say that word when I don't need to. Literally. Here it is. Think for yourselves, guys. That's all I would encourage. It's a big weight lifted off your shoulders. I'll tell you what. Dial. Good gosh. Okay, one sec. All right. The Lord is my light. Okay, chapter 27 of Psalms. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When evildoers assail me, uttering slanders against me, my adversaries and foes, they shall stumble and fall. Though a host encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war arise against me, yet I will be confident. One thing have I asked of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple. For he will hide me in his shelter in the day of trouble. He will conceal me under the cover of his tent. He will set me high upon a rock. And now my head shall be lifted up above my enemies round about me, and I will offer in his tent sacrifices with shouts of joy. I will sing and make melody to the Lord. Hear, O Lord, when I cry aloud. Be gracious to me and answer me. Thou hast said, seek ye my face. My heart says to thee, thy face, Lord, do I seek. Hide not thy face from me. Turn not thy servant away in anger, thou who hast been my help. Cast me not off, forsake me not, O God of my salvation. For my father and my mother have forsaken me, but the Lord will take me up. Teach me thy way, O Lord, and lead me on a level path because of my enemies. Give me not up to the will of my adversaries. For false witnesses have risen against me, and they breathe out violence. I believe that I shall see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Wait for the Lord. Be strong, and let your heart take courage. Yeah, wait for the Lord. I love that one. It's one of my favorites. How about chapter 28 as well? To thee, O Lord, I call. My rock, be not deaf to me, lest if thou be silent to me, I become like those who go down to the pit. Hear the voice of my supplication, as I cry to thee for help, as I lift up my hands towards thy most holy sanctuary. Take me not off with the wicked, with those who are workers of evil, who speak peace with their neighbors, while mischief is in their hearts. Requite them Requite them according to their work and according to the evil of their deeds. Requite them according to the work of their hands. Render them their due reward, because they do not regard the works of the Lord or the work of his hands. He will break them down and build them up no more. Blessed be the Lord, for he has heard the voice of my supplications. The Lord is my strength and my shield, in him my heart trusts. So I am helped, and my heart exults, and with my song I give thanks to him. The Lord is the strength of his peoples. He is the saving refuge of his anointed. O save thy people and bless thy heritage. Be thou their shepherd and carry them forever. That's not what I'm doing. This isn't all I ever do on my channel. It's at the end of my channel I read a Bible verse. I'm Catholic and I've read this. You know what? Screw you. I don't like you. What an asshole. Yeah, don't let them get to you. Exactly. This whole time, I'm not doing this the whole time. I only do it at the end of my stream. And I have like, I read the Bible before bed. Like what else would determine otherwise, right? What would confirm that I'm a well-versed Bible banger or pounder or whatever they call it? Bible thumper. I bet he wants me to be a Bible thumper and talk like, run! By the way, guys, according to that asshole, you've never read the Bible unless you're a big Protestant Bible thumper. Bang, bang, bang. Stupid. I read it with reverence and respect while also dealing with slight dyslexia and shit. Wow, what an asshole. Catholics can cuss. That has nothing to do with whether I'm Catholic or not. Are we gonna be ignorant again? Yeah, fuck the haters. Every Catholic I know cusses. What? These same people will say horrible things about Catholics, but if you're a Catholic and you cuss, they'll hold you to a highest standard, like you're supposed to be the Pope or something. These people literally expect me to be the Pope if I'm Catholic. It's so stupid. Alright. Thank you, Willa. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah, you're cringe. Any life advice? Don't do what I'm doing. Ignore the damn haters. I would say if you're dealing with addiction to hard substances, consult a counselor and get help. Because that's what we talk about on my channel for the most part, is getting clean and moving on with our lives outside of our addictions, which nearly killed us. And I was a heroin addict for 6 years. It nearly killed me. Alcohol, too, nearly killed me. And I overcame that. And I think it's very important to meditate, exercise, eat well, eat healthy, eat all the colors of the rainbow, but to also seek help. Don't ever feel ashamed. Don't feel like they're just going to turn you away. And if they were to do that, seek someone else. Look for someone who will actually have your back, because they're out there. There are friends and counselors and family who will support your journey and help you to keep it that way. Wow, thank you for taking care of yourself. Thank you. I'm happy for you. Thank you, Willa. You're not supposed to be a pope, but I'm pretty sure you should be as nice as possible. No. And just because I'm not being nice doesn't mean I'm wrong. What am I supposed to do when people say hateful things about me and lie about me? Just like be super agreeable, like, okay, I'll let you walk over me because I'm a doormat. You know who I really look up to? Blair White. Blair White doesn't take shit. And she doesn't have to be nice either. These people don't deserve a cent of my consideration. And if it makes anybody uncomfortable, then so be it. Maybe you could do with a little sincerity yourself. I'm not going to pretend to be nice like a lot of these people do. That's the thing. That's a huge difference between the left and the right in a lot of ways these days. The left pretends to be nice, but then you see the way they act in the streets. Committing all kinds of violence. And you're just supposed to stand there and take it and not say anything about it, because otherwise they're going to say that, do what, say the things that people are saying to me in this chat. Oh, you're supposed to be nice. Bullshit. Bullshit. I think God appreciates sincerity and integrity and standing up for oneself over just being a doormat and allowing for the lies to continue. Fuck it. Fuck it. I like honesty. Too bad. Someone in the comments said that their mother, I forget exactly how this conversation went, but they were talking about Asmongold and why so many people don't like him. And their mother said, this person's mother said, the reason why people don't like Asmongold that much, some people either love him or they hate him. The reason why some people don't like Asmongold is because he's honest. People don't like honest people. They either love them or they hate them. Some people feel threatened by honesty for some reason. Maybe they should take a good look at that themselves. Look at themselves in the mirror. Ridiculous. That doll moved behind me. Oh no! Better not be flashing my audience. You're amazing, gorgeous, redhead, smart, strong woman. Thank you, Cody Peoples. I'll date you. You look fine. Thank you. You shouldn't have to take shit either, and fuck bullshit. Agreed. Respect. Thank you, Claymore. By the way, I like your name because it reminds me of one of my favorite animes I watched during my college years. Claymore. That's a good anime. Colossians. Okay. I'll probably pronounce certain things wrong, by the way, when I read aloud to you guys. I was homeschooled, okay? I didn't go out and socialize that much or talk to that many people. I spent most of my time reading books. I've read a lot of books, but I haven't spoken to that many people. I've had to be corrected on how things are pronounced. And I keep to myself a lot. So I don't have much of an opportunity to get corrected on things that I say. Like, when it comes to pronunciation. So if I pronounce something wrong, my bad, okay? Doesn't mean I can't read. And anyone who thinks that pronouncing a word wrong means you don't read or can't read is ridiculous. Oftentimes it means that you read more than you talk to people. They don't give you if you're reading a book, they typically don't give you they don't give you all the syllables and break it up so that you can discern the pronunciation. But yeah, anyone who thinks that they're looking for, because I told them I supported Trump, they're looking for any reason to hate me or call me stupid and, tell everybody they can't trust me, there's discredit my knowledge because I pronounce a word wrong. It's ridiculous. I don't care about cussing. Anywho, I really don't. Don't care about cussing. And I don't do it a ton either. Sometimes I, just whatever. I've gotten enough spam here from that one asshole. Okay, we're going to read one Bible verse and we're going to end it. How about the wisdom of Solomon? Actually, you know what? Anyone wanna choose the next verse before I go? Forgot that other one that was suggested to me, so I'm sorry about that. Judges 19. Okay, 209. Tired. Okay. Judges 19, eh? Oops. There we go. Well, I'm probably not going to read a whole chapter right now, guys. No way. Not the whole thing. Not a whole chapter there, okay? But I'll read a little bit of it. You said Judges chapter 9. Well, we'll read part of it. Did you say 19? Well, okay, we'll go Judges, verse 19. We'll do verse 19. How about chapter 19, verse 19? 19. Okay, gotcha. Let me just, chapter's way too long right now, guys. I wasn't going to read a whole chapter like last time. 19, verse 19. How about that? Back's also hurting. We have straw and provender for our asses. Okay. We have straw and provender for our asses, for our asses, with bread and wine for me and your maidservant and the young man with your servants. There is no lack of anything. And the old man said, Peace be to you. I will care for all of your wants. Only do not spend the night in the square. So he brought him into his house and gave the asses provender. And they washed their feet and ate and drank. As they were making their hearts merry, I'm going to keep reading to chapter 23. As they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, base fellows. Oh, they were using the term based back then, huh? Based. Base fellows. As they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, base fellows, beset the house round about, beating on the door. And they said to the old man, the master of the house, Bring out the man who came into your house, that we may know him. And the man, the master of the house, went to them and said to them, No, my brethren, do not act so wickedly. Seeing that this man has come into my house, do not do this vile thing. Behold, here are my virgin daughter and his concubine. Let me bring them out now, ravish them, and do with them what seems good to you. Again, guys, the Old Testament is different from the New Testament. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. We Catholics follow the order of the New Covenant. All right. I know some men would love that. Uh, okay. Enough joking. I'm sorry. Not appropriate. Someone mentioned. What did they mention? What was that chapter they mentioned? I think it was New Testament. I'm not sure. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? You're drop dead gorgeous. Oh, thank you. Shucks. Ephesians. For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. Yeah, I like that one. Hey, cans. What was that? Romans. Okay, Romans chapter 8, verses 38 to 39. Okay, we'll do that one. I like Romans a lot too. So, chapter 8, 38 to 39. Okay. Actually, I have that one highlighted right here. For I am sure that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor things present, nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God and Christ Jesus our Lord. Amen. That's a great one. Thessalonians, that's the one. I don't read Thessalonians very much. Thessalonians. (187). Chapter 5, verse 5. Yep. All right. For you are all sons of light and sons of the day. For you are all sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night or of darkness. And then I've already highlighted the next part, so I'll read it. So then let us not sleep as others do, but let us keep awake and be sober. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. But since we belong to the day, let us be sober, and put on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For God has not destined us for wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord Jesus Christ. That's one of my favorites, guys. That's why I have a star right beneath it, because I love that one. In fact, I'm going to add another star to it. That's a really, really good one. This is the one Bible I can just write in. I have a nicer looking Bible, but this is my the one I take everywhere with me, the one I highlight. I like that one. I like the weight of it too. It's like $7 on Amazon, by the way. Anywho. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Leviticus? Okay, we'll do one more. Okay. We'll read a little bit of Leviticus, okay? Chapter 20, verse 13. All right, one more. One more. Leviticus. I don't really read much of Leviticus either, to be honest. Very early chapter. 85. There we go. Ever read The Magic School Bus? I have. I have. We used to read The Magic School Bus when I was a kid. Yeah, I used to watch the cartoon too. I'm a 90s kid, guys. I'm a legitimate 90s kid. You know how you have all these kids who are like 3 years old in the year 2000 and they think that they're 90s kids because they were born in 1991 or 1998? Like, yeah, sure. I was born in 91. All right. 20 verse 13. Yep. Here we go. If a man lies... Oh boy, okay. This is the Old Testament too, guys. All right. So, honestly, without context, I don't want to just read that. I know why this guy's asking me to read this passage. It's to try to tell everyone that being gay is bad. I know why they're asking me to read this passage without context, without anything, without any relation to the fact that this is the old covenant, that is the new covenant, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people weren't saved around this time. So, yeah. I don't like it when people have an agenda and they try to use me as a conduit or what you might call it, vessel or whatever. Anyway, Romans chapter 13 verse 1 to 2. Yeah, it is a tough verse to read, and without context it makes it seem like I'm trying to argue the case that being gay is bad, you know? I don't believe that. I really don't. I think that, I mean, in any case, God is the judge, not me. You know? We study, we practice the new covenant, the New Test. We live by the New Testament, not the Old Testament. Just FYI. Alrighty. You're gonna delete my channel? Whatever. Chapter 13, verse 1 to 2. Okay. Yeah, I don't like it when people have an agenda and they try to use me. You know, it's whatever. It's disgusting. People forget that context exists. Chapter 13, verse 1 to 2, Romans. Okay? Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. That's good. Very good. Very applicable. Therefore, he who resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. And I'll just read all the ones that are highlighted and we'll make that the end, okay? Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that you may prove what is the will of God, and what is good and acceptable and perfect. And chapter 12, verse 9 to 13. Let love be genuine. Hate what is evil. Hold fast to what is good. Love one another with brotherly affection. Outdo one another in showing honor. Rejoice in your hope. Be patient in tribulation. Be constant in prayer. Contribute to the needs of the saints. Practice hospitality. Beloved, this is Romans chapter 12, verse 19, all the way down to 21. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. No, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him drink. For by doing for by so doing you will heap burning coals upon his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Amen. All right, guys. So, thank you very much. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Maybe we can get up to 200. I don't know. Get up to 200 likes. Thank you, guys. Jesus already proved in the Old Testament, so we do New. The Old Covenant is based on law and punishment of that law. It is cold and shows mankind that we cannot live under law. Exactly. Thank you, Juan. Exactly. And a lot of it's metaphorical, a lot of it's symbolic, a lot of it's, just trying to show, exemplify or whatever. But the New Testament is real. That's what we follow. That's what we live by. Pay attention to my simping, please. I need attention. Hi, Falcon. Hope you're doing okay. The New Covenant is about grace, and it is the only way we can be saved. Exactly, Juan. Exactly. Precisely. And welcome to the channel. Okay, it's already it's getting to be 1:30 a.m., guys, so I do have to go. So thank you, Falcon. I just Googled as you mentioned my name. Thank you, Falconine. Thank you, Maya Maniac. I don't know what you're doing, so maybe I shouldn't even be saying hi to you. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, okay. Thank you, Shauno, and God bless all the sick and suffering out there indeed. Thank you, Waffen. Thank you, Scribble by Test Worldwide. I know, a lot of spammers tonight. Okay. Thank you, Swinky Sasquatch. I like your name, by the way. Thank you, okay. Thank you, Itchy Skin. God loves all his children. Do I know God? I don't know. Because there are things I just can't understand. Exactly. All of us. Thank you, Ricky. Oh, I gotta let my dog in. Just one sec, guys. He's wanting to go sleep. Alright. Come in, buddy. Bedtime. Okay. Thank you, Dopamine Shram. Hey, baby. Thank you, Coty Peoples. Thank you, Lord Matthews. Pixie Girl Dream Academy. You guys are funny. Thank you. Okay. People collect things, that doesn't make them an addict to that. If I were an addict to collecting dolls, I'd be collecting them right now. I haven't bought another doll in months. So no. That's stupid. That's fucking stupid. You could argue that just about everybody's an addict, and well, I mean, anyone can become an addict. I know that. But just because you're a collector, just because you like to collect things or invest in things, doesn't make you addicted to it. Stupid. Fucking stupid. Brain rot junk. Thank you, Paul. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking of him because he's referring to Catholics as a cult, whatever. That's not true. At all. People can People can leave the Catholic faith anytime they want. You know, the difference between religion and a cult is that with a cult, if you try to leave, you're encouraged to come in. You know, you're brainwashed to go in there, and then as soon as you're in, you can't leave. Otherwise, they'll try to ruin your life. They'll blackmail you. They'll threaten your family. Blah 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 blah. If you try to leave a cult, an actual cult, you're in danger. They'll ruin, or they will ruin your life. That's fucked up. Fucked up comparison. Desperate comparison. You're just desperate. Just regurgitating talking points as usual. And you guys tell us that we do that. You guys are all hypocrites. Anywho, guys, okay. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm sorry, I was going to try to thank you all by name as much as possible. I'm not good at remembering names, so I have to go through it. And there's a ton of trolls spamming. I don't want to have to go through that. Well, you know what I mean. Thank you, Flamingo Dude. Jesus loves you too. Thank you, Jolly Mr. Mackey. My master always said the difference between a religion and a cult, it's the size of their bank accounts. He was a good man. Yeah, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, one difference I notice is that with cults, they'll try to ruin your life if you leave. Religions don't, like Catholicism or Russian Orthodox or Presbyterianism, they don't do that shit. Hey, you have a good night too, Cody. I know, the spammers really sucked tonight, but hey, joke's on them, I get more engagement. Much love. See you tomorrow, okay?